Thanks so much for being a part of our study today. I'm laughing because I told Rudy today I'm interviewing him. The times when I really interview Rudy and just listen is when it's really hard to understand, and I just put all the work on his shoulders. So thanks, Rudy. We're in Isaiah chapter 62, and you all realize we are praying and asking God to give us insight, but we do not know it all by any means. No. Yeah. So here you go, Isaiah chapter 62. For Zion's sake I'll not keep silent, and for Jerusalem's sake I'll not rest, until her vindication shines out like the dawn, and her salvation like a burning torch. The nations shall see your vindication, and all the kings your glory, and you shall be called by a new name, that the mouth of the Lord will give. You shall be a crown of beauty in the hand of the Lord, and the royal diadem in the hand of your God. You shall no longer be termed forsaken, and your land shall no longer be termed desolate, but you shall be called, my delight is in her, and your hand married. For the Lord delights in you, and your land shall be married. Why don't you talk a little bit about this, Rudy?
Well, this is hard. I think that this is an image of the moments after the battle that ends this age and begins the millennium reign.
Okay, so let's draw this out a little bit. So if I were to do a you are here on this deal, we are here right now. Okay, I'm going to do that small. Okay. We are here. And the next thing on God's agenda is
that the world is going to come up against Jerusalem, and there's going to be this great battle right, of which no one could win.
All right, against Jerusalem. All right, and there's a battle.
It's called the Day of the Lord because, and the reason it's called the Day of the Lord is there's really no one acting of consequence in it except him, because no one could win this battle. Right. It's very similar to no one could have won the battle with the children of Israel coming out of Egypt.
Right. And nobody could have raised somebody from the dead except God.
Exactly.
So we are here. The next thing on the agenda is that everyone is going to be against Jerusalem. It's going to be a battle. This is called the Day of the Lord. And then you've talked about after that comes the
millennium reign.
Millennium means 1,000 years.
Yes.
So you got one. I can write 1,000 easier than I can spell millennium.
It's got a lot of double letters in it. I had to write it a lot when I was writing a paper on
Right.
millennium.
You got it. So we are now looking for 1,000-year reign, and during that 1,000-year reign, why don't you go back and look at those verses and see how they fit into that 1,000-year reign?
The nations shall see your vindication, and the kings your glory, and you shall be called by a new name. The nations that surround Israel will see what Israel is doing during the millennium reign. During the millennium reign, the temple, a new temple is built, sacrificing is going on a daily basis, and they will see it. Unfortunately, we learned that at the end of the millennium reign, there's another battle that encompasses the whole world again, of which God wins that one, and then eternity starts.
Okay, so let's stay right here with this part right here.
Okay.
So this passage in Isaiah is looking to this 1,000-year reign when Israel will
inhabit the land.
Right.
And we learn through Ezekiel. Ezekiel's an important character in the prophets in that he and Moses are the only ones that get to change the law.
Okay.
The sacrificial system is changed for the millennium so that all the festivals are looking forward to the favorable year of the Lord,
right,
which happens at the end of the millennium because we get back what we lost on the at the beginning of the 8th day.
And the 8th day is the millennium reign. Is that right? No?
No, the 7th day is actually the millennium reign. It's a Sabbath rest.
Okay.
But we're looking past the Sabbath. This is something that is extremely hard to understand, that everything God says has a purpose. And when it says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding, it tells me that within those words, there is a deeper meaning than just the two-dimensionalness of the words on a page. And that's why when you say that the Gospel of John correlates to this part of Isaiah, it's because it's the radiance of the words that actually that hold the meaning.
Right.
Only the Holy Spirit can unlock this thing, this kind of thing. You can't figure it out for
Right.
yourself. But if He has been teaching you, the possibility of being able to see this lightly within the future is possible.
Right.
Because we begin to understand what the harvest of the soul looks like, and knowing that this existence is not the end.
Yeah.
But I
Correct.
mean,
Let me give you a little, just a thought, and then you respond to it. On Sunday, Pastor Jay Taylor at Maywood Baptist talked about first fruits. And I sit in class in our fellowship hall led by different people. But generally, the group is comprised of people who are struggling and overcoming addiction and sometimes crime and sometimes both. And they would be people who would be viewed by society as forsaken or desolate. But they are now folks who are, God could say, I delighted you. I have chosen you to be my bride, the bride of Christ. And so they're the first fruits of God's activity, in my mind, of this that will then take place at a far grander scale in the millennium.
I think what you just identified is true, and it's hard for us to equate first fruits not being first. But it's the first fruits of the Spirit within you that ultimately is what first fruits is talking about. But first fruits is really important. The day that the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea was the day of first fruits, the very first time, because they were as good as dead if the Lord hadn't opened up the Red Sea.
Right. There you go. We'll probably stop on that. One more thought.
Jesus raised from the dead exactly on the same day that the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea, giving us another illustration of first fruits.
Absolutely. I rushed you, but thank you for getting that in. Hey, thanks for being a part. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.